We have a view of culture, and this is just a framework we developed to say, like, these are the different types of cultures we typically experience. Because if I ask you to describe this culture, it's quite hard to describe. We feel culture, but it's quite hard to actually just depict it. I don't know if anybody's read Good to Great here in this room. Anybody? Jim Collins, Good to Great? A few heads around. A number of companies we work with say, help us move from good to great. When we get in there and we say, whoa, you're not even good yet. Maybe there's something else to be done. And so we find cultures that could be spread across any one of these 5 types of being. The first one, I'm going to run through them quite quickly, but just to speak about toxic, it's unsafe. Toxic is where people feel abused, disrespected, stifled, they are humiliated, they are shamed. It is unsustainable, because your great talent will not stay there any longer. They may have done that 20, 30 years ago, but these places are unsustainable. There's a lot of fear. And in fact, the only reason why they're toxic is because the leader has a lot of fear. Fear they're not going to actually be able to perform and meet whatever they need to meet. And so they end up expressing behaviors like that. The rigid space is safe. We make it safe through rules. But we also play it safe. Okay, so we walk a little bit like on eggshells. So it's a very cautious environment. All the decisions are made centrally. There's sometimes bureaucracy involved because we put systems on systems on systems. We find that when there are rules, we can find who breaks the rules and we can find somebody to blame for that. The reason why companies have rigid cultures is because they want to try and create certainty. They want to minimize their risk. And that's quite a good thing in one hand. But we know we live in a VUCA world, a volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world, a world that is changing so fast that I'm not sure I can be certain about what's going to happen tomorrow. And so the danger of companies that are sitting here is when the strong winds blow, when the tough times come, they tend to break the easiest. Their cultures are not very strong, they're pretty weak to walk through those choppy waters. A good space is a bit of what we call the American dream. It's a little bit about what a lot of our companies in our world have been chasing to try and build and be. It's good, it's not bad. We're very driven, respected, efficient. There's a lot of focus on professional growth, on knowledge, so information age, think back to that. Short-term profit. They've landed up to be quite me-centric focus because there's a lot of focus on achievement and ambition and career growth, etc. So it becomes quite competitive and individualistic. Not bad. Then we get the integrated space, which we would call a great culture. And the big shift between good to great, between optimistic and integrated, is that very word integrated. We realize that we're part of a system. We're not an island. And our teams are not islands. We actually need each other to really do well, and we are part of a system, and we are only as strong as every part of that system is firing. And so we really value collaborating as teams. We really involve the people in the challenges that we face. We appreciate people for the efforts that they're making in helping us to be and fulfill our purpose. We focus not just on professional growth, but we also focus on personal growth. And that's quite linked to the EQ piece that you see further down, emotional intelligence. It's not just a fad of the day. We cannot collaborate as teams if we don't know what our triggers are, what my triggers are, what your triggers are, and how we can get past that, and how we can manage and really accept and understand each other. There's a lot of focus on shared vision, integrity, and I just want to pause on this word empowered here because you actually called it out there. It's interesting what these organizations, what results in people who work in these organizations. When you are driven by rules and you are told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it every day, we get a sickness called learned helplessness. Yeah. People don't know how to think because they've never been allowed to think, and they've never been taught to think. And so we as leaders get frustrated because couldn't they see it? It was so obvious. And yet they're locked in a prison of learned helplessness. And so this journey here, in a way, is if we can help people get to this piece, that means they feel competent in their role and their work. They feel confident in who they are. That's the first step. And then if we can move to, well, hey, we can start empowering you and help you to learn how to think and solve problems, then we move into a whole different space. And that sets us up for, in many ways, the last culture shift, which is the one that we call inspired. And inspired is what we call an endearing culture. So that word endearing, when you hear that word endearing, what do you see that means? Long-term sustainable. What do you say when I'm endeared to somebody? You feel warm, yeah. It's actually like care. It's like love, actually. Endearing companies create a space of care, and dare I say it in business even, a place of love. They love all their stakeholders, their customers, their suppliers, their people, their communities, because the big shift from here to here is realizing not only are we a part of a system, we're part of an ecosystem. And we're only going to thrive in our business and what we do if this whole ecosystem is thriving. If our communities aren't thriving, we have no work. We have no business. If our employees, our team members aren't thriving, hey, they're going to take us down. Okay, we're going to end up in a terrible place. So it's about valuing all stakeholders. It's realizing I don't own this place. I hold it in stewardship. I want to pass it on in a better way than I found it. It's realizing we're connected and we have a spirit and we're here for the greater good. We're here for a higher purpose, not just making money. We are actually adding value to society in what we do every day. And then I spoke about that journey of learned helplessness to confidence, to empowered, to the point that these companies can actually allow people to make decisions right at the front line, decentralized team-based decisions, because we know they're able, we know they align to our values, they know they will make decisions with good intent. And you will see further down here is the concept of servant leadership. And Jonathan called out serve, and I like the way he expressed it. At the end of the day, for me, servant leadership is just helping others be the best they can be. Here we get managers who want others to make me look the best. Here, I want others to be the best. In fact, I want them to be better than I have. And that's what we want for our children. So if I truly look at the people in my span of care every day, I just want the best for them. Our CEO has a wonderful saying, can we see everybody that walks in our door every day as somebody's precious child? Because what do you want for your child? You actually want them to be working in a place at least like one of those two, and you want them to be happy, have meaningful work, be successful in what they do. That's what we want. Do we have that same thing for people that walk into our door every day? So, the one piece about this, we're never at one place. Actually, there are elements of all of this. I can walk into some really inspiring companies and I can find toxicity. Okay, you will find it. It's like our bodies. We all have some toxins in place. It's just if the toxin is very high, it could end up making us very sick or end up actually killing us.